A new study tracking language development in young children shows those with an early preference for the right hand seem to have a linguistic head start. Here to tell us more about the study is researcher Eliza Nelson from Florida International University. Hi, Eliza. Thanks for joining us. And please go easy because you are talking to a southpaw here. But tell us a little bit about the link you're finding between right-handed kids and language development.
Sure, and thanks for having me. So what we have found is actually that kids differ very early on as infants in how they're using their hands. And some of those infants do show that early right hand preference. And they continue to maintain this preference as they get to be toddlers and they approach 2 years old. And other kids look a little bit different and they have a more of a variable hand use pattern. And then later on, when those kids are the same age at 2 years, and now they're left or right-handed, they have just gone through this different kind of trajectory in terms of their handedness development. And so it isn't really a detriment that they took maybe a little bit longer to settle on which hand they're going to use, because they turn out to have typical language development. But those early right-handers do seem to be linked to higher language scores when we give them standard language tests.
Okay, so let me ask you something, because it seems that it is the fact that they are showing an early preference that is what you are noting, rather than specifically the right hand. Is that correct? Because there were it was a small group of kids, 35 kids, and there were no early left-handers in that group. Is that correct?
Right. We didn't happen to sample any early left-handers in that set of kids. But what we have gone on to do is actually almost triple our sample size. And so we have some data now from some other children that we have given the same tasks to. And we do have some children in that sample who have shown that early left preference. And we're still working to analyze that data, but it's quite possible that it's just having the bias early that's linked to how the language system gets set up. Because one way that we have to think about these things is that perhaps the organization of one thing, the organization of the motor system, might be bootstrapping the organization of another thing like language. And of course, it might be the other way around as well.
So these children that are showing these early preferences, are they more advanced in anything else down the line or just language? And did you notice any gender differences?
First of all, that we haven't seen any gender differences. We did look at that. Sometimes when you're dealing with handedness data, you do see less of a right hand bias in males. But in these data, the boy and girl infants, they did not differ. And we also gave them standardized tests of general cognition and also just general motor ability. And the children did not differ according to their handedness trajectory on those other measures. It was only on the language measure.
All right. Well, thank you, Eliza Nelson. Fascinating research.
Yes, and hopefully we'll have some more data to talk about. We are continuing to follow these kids and the other children that I mentioned as they approach their preschool years, and we're following them again at 3 and 4 and 5 years of age.
All right, let us know what you find. Fascinating stuff. Thank you, Eliza.